Welcome back, everyone. I am David Brown, joined once again with Ryan Graham. Say hello, Ryan.
Hello, Ryan.
He did it this time, guys. Aren't we so excited? Getting used to it. Well, I'll tell you, I'm learning a few things. Doing these podcasts, once we finish one and we get it posted, I get a little blank Word document and I get it open up for the week so I can go ahead and anything that happens throughout the week for Georgia State news, I just go ahead and just put it in there so that I'll have notes and everything when we get ready for the episode. I've got all my thoughts or all the news that came out of the week. And of course, Wednesday goes by, Thursday goes by, and there's nothing happening. And I'm like, oh no, we've got nothing to talk about. Well, we got a lot to talk about tonight. So let's get it started. Well, what was your Saturday like, Ryan? What was your Saturday night like, let's say?
Well, the game was a little rough, but I only remember about half of it, so, you know.
Yeah, so we went into last week against Western Michigan knowing that it could go any direction. And the one direction we did not want it to go was a blowout loss. And what did we get?
Blowout loss.
Yeah, there's no other way to sugarcoat it. That was not pretty by any stretch of the imagination. No aspect of the game was really that positive. Now, I will say, we started off, it looked a little back and forth, a little bit back and forth at the beginning. I think I may have held out hope a little longer than I should have.
I probably had hope. We had a couple minutes till the half.
No, I was well into the third quarter. It wasn't until we were down by well over 30 that I thought that we were out of it.
I guess it's done now.
I'm not kidding. We did 28 unanswered points against Furman. So why would I think we couldn't do the same thing about Western Michigan, who had not had a great defense, or so we thought, going into it?
Well, it could be that every time I looked up, they were taking off for like a 60-yard run.
Well, if you don't run 60 yards, why run the ball at all,
Yeah,
right?
that's right, yeah.
That was concerning. I mean, I don't really pay attention to the strengths of the defenses on the passing game or the rushing game or whatnot. Sorry if you heard my phone go off. I did not turn it off. And
great host.
Babe, when you're listening to this, you texted me during the show and you're upstairs above me right now. Love you, mean it. Anyhow, I seem to recall that they did not have much of a rushing game, and that was going to be, we were going to have to beat them through the air. Or they were going to beat us through the air all night long. But no, they were rushing on us like crazy the entire game.
And the ESPN announcers, though, they said that their lead running back or whatever was like top 5 in the FBS for yards per carry.
Okay, so I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I'm wrong. Not be the first time.
Yeah, I bet he's better than just top 5 at this point. He might be number 1. After that. Because he averaged about,
Herschel
like
Walker,
I said,
who?
he averaged about
idea
60 yards a carry against us.
Yeah,
so.
it was ridiculous. And you're right. It was like you look up, you take a sip of your beer, you look up, and all of a sudden they're breaking away. And it was like going untouched.
Yeah.
And I actually looked at our team after the game was over. We weren't even dirty. Like their uniforms were still crystal clear, clean, and that beautiful white uniform that I love. But you kind of want to see a little dirt by the end of the game, right?
I mean, maybe there was a method to their madness.
Well,
they had to look good.
It's the artificial turf. Maybe.
maybe.
They
I wasn't gonna say that, but I was gonna let you have it.
Yeah, no. So I had faith way too long, more than I should have. But I think one of the things that really killed us was we would start getting into a little bit of rhythm, and we were already down. We'd get into a little bit of a rhythm. It looked like we were doing something, and then bam, penalty, bam, penalty, bam, penalty.
There were a lot of penalties.
And I never like to blame officiating on a game because I'm not a Saints fan. But I mean, come on. I'm not saying they were wrong. I'm saying that we were in the wrong. We were committing these penalties. We just couldn't get out of our own way.
I had never heard of a blindside block
what
or
was
a couple of the other ones. I was like,
what? Blindside block? Is that what it was?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Was that in the movie?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Never heard of it. But apparently, I did not look this up. I'm just trusting what somebody said on Panther Talk, that we had like 98 yards in penalties in the first half.
That's it?
Yeah, exactly. But that's nuts.
Yeah, so actually, I felt like most of our penalties came in the second half. But that's, I mean, you can't win games when you're putting yourself back in the field so far.
Yep.
So does this mean that Coach Elliott or Coach Fuqua is on the hot seat?
I think Fuqua was already on the hot seat.
Yeah, I mean, so...
He's had one good game.
You had one great game. You beat a P5 team. You beat Tennessee.
One good game.
Legendary team, right?
They only had 9 months to prepare for it, so.
It's true. So I think somebody else on Panda Talk said I think it may have been Panama.
Come on, man. I was stealing that. I was don't give credit where credit's due.
Yeah. Panama didn't say this whatsoever at all. He doesn't know anything about football. So you need 9 months to prepare for each game. We'd be fine, all right? I don't know. I mean, I think it's hard to say. We were ready to, crown Sean Elliott, king of all that is Georgia State athletics after that UT win. Scrape by on Furman, and had a little hangover and everything. We get blown out against a team that was very, very possible to blow us out, maybe not to this extent. And all of a sudden, we're ready to kick the guy to the curb.
Oh, I'm not ready to cut him to the curb. He's all right.
Fuqua.
Oh, yeah.
He's gone already, right?
So
by the end of the show, he's already gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I don't think so. There's a lot of loyalty on the coaching staff. It doesn't feel like people get fired.
I mean, we're 2-1.
That's true.
We're 2-1.
Yeah.
Going into this season, if you would have asked people how they would feel about being 2-1 going into the Texas State game, they'd have been excited about it.
Yep.
I mean,
absolutely.
There were plenty of people saying 2-2 coming home from homecoming. That'd be beyond expectations.
I think most people thought we'd be 1-2 right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, because the Tennessee was a guaranteed loss.
Yep.
And then you toss one up between Furman and Western Michigan, right?
I think most people are just saying Furman's a win and Western Michigan's a loss.
well, I think
at that point,
I think most Georgia State fans know that an FCS game is never a guaranteed win.
That's true.
So, do you think that 2-1, 3 games in a season, that it's appropriate to fire a defensive coordinator?
Probably not. I mean, I don't think he's gonna get fired anyway. There's nothing gonna change. And what would that help anyway, right? So the guys aren't gonna.
Who are you gonna bring in?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you gonna promote somebody to come up? I mean.
And it's not like Sean Elliott would take over there. He's an offensive line coach,
right?
Traditionally, and I think that's who he's coaching right now. I think he's taken over hands-on duty.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right as well. So I think all the talk about Fuqua, you can be upset all you want, but I honestly am not letting this game get to me. I'm trying not to, at least. I listened to Coach's interview on 929 this morning, and he talked a lot of coach speak for sure. But he was saying, you can't define a season by one win or one loss. He said the same thing about the Tennessee game, same thing about the Western Michigan game, and
obviously he's right.
Right. Well, obviously, unless you're like Bama and one loss keeps you out of the SEC championship, and then But I just. We'll see what happens. We'll talk about Texas State in a little bit. We'll see what happens there. But I'm not going to get overly upset. I do not like the fact they put up 57 points. That really does bother me. I don't like that Dan only managed 10 points with our offense. Yeah. He's injured, obviously. Yeah. But I'm not happy about it. I don't like it.
Now, I mean, what I was hoping was that maybe this is the punch in the mouth that they needed, but I also hope that Furman was the punch in the mouth that they needed. We all thought that was
Furman, yeah. So, I don't know. One thing I did find very, very interesting, and I didn't notice this until someone else brought it up, but I meant to check today, so it may have come out today. I don't think it has, because I did not see it anywhere. But there was no post-game press conference published by Georgia State Athletics with coach or any of the players, which has happened every other game, I'm pretty sure, in school history.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I don't know. I don't watch those.
I don't necessarily watch all of them. I do watch them from here and there, but I mean,
I watched the
Tennessee one. That's for sure.
I watched what's his face's too, Pruitt's.
Right.
Yeah. I watched both of them because he's a dum-dum.
Yeah.
He's not a smart man.
Well, Tennessee,
and it was
right?
fun to watch. I was just like, wow, he's dum-dum.
But I found it like I'm curious. Did Coach not want to do a press conference? Did Athletics say we're just not going to post the press conference? I don't know if
it was late. Maybe they got back on a plane quickly. I don't know.
That just seemed. I really hope that it was a logistics thing or a technical difficulty type thing, because I think if you're going to be a leader of men, you need to be able to be out there and take the questions on a bad loss like this. So hopefully it's just something, nothing too big deal. Shouldn't read anything into it, but it was really strange. There was no press conference afterwards. But so we watched the game at Halfway Crooks again.
Yep, good crowd.
Fantastic crowd. I think at one point I counted over 30 people there.
Yep, it's awesome.
Which is not impressive for a lot of schools, but that's fantastic for us. Yep. And it was a packed house up there at Halfway Crooks. I liked it a lot. Unfortunately, I think the history of Georgia State performance on the field got to people, and when we got down just a little bit, it was immediately people started leaving.
I think a lot of people, since it was such a late game, there were a lot of people who planned to leave at halftime. I know my buddies, they left at halftime, and they were already planning on, but they had a small child, and my wife and our kid left at halftime little before.
And that's understandable. And I was asking people when they were saying goodbye, I was like, were you planning on leaving at halftime?
Yeah.
Or are you leaving because it's for... there was one person that said, I gotta leave early for work or something. I'm like, on Sunday? But yeah. It was a little concerning, but I understand it. I get it. I mean, we've watched so many losses, and this looked like another one about to happen, and it did. It did.
But you know what, though? Like Kennesaw, people were rage quitting and leaving the stadium against Kennesaw State, and we came back there. And I was like, you gotta hold out hope.
I had a lot of hope. I had a lot of hope. So you and I actually stayed out through the entire game.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of fans that showed up after the United game, so props to them. They knew where this game was headed, and they still came out.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, coming out.
Didn't wear blue, but
Well, they were in the United attire.
I think you go to the United game in blue. You don't go to the Georgia State game in black and red.
I don't disagree.
So,
and maybe if they'd worn blue there, United would have won as well.
And Georgia State might have won.
There you go. So basically, we're blaming you, Susan.
Yeah.
It's all on you.
Wow, I wasn't gonna. You just name check.
Love you, Susan, but yeah, it's all your fault. There was one problem at Halfway Crooks, and I do not blame Halfway Crooks for this. I blame ESPN. We had a series of technical difficulties there. There was the feed kept on going out, and I feel so bad for the people working there. They were trying to satisfy us so much. They were trying to get it back, but it kept on going out. And I don't think it's their fault because we watched the Tennessee game there, and they use YouTube TV Live for that. So it's the same streaming thing. So it wasn't like...
It's ESPN Plus stream, probably.
That's what I'm thinking was.
Yeah, or their internet was funky or something.
So for anybody that's listening that was there and was kind of turned off by the brewery because of the technical difficulties, I think that could have happened anywhere, including your own home with your own internet connection. I don't blame them for that. Hopefully ESPN can get their act together.
It also didn't help that every time we got the feed working again, it was like a replay of them running 60 yards into the end zone.
Yeah, they're up for their point after because they just scored another 60-yard touchdown. Yeah. So
we said we wouldn't be negative, but
But here's a point where we can be negative. There's one allowance. I was talking about.
We're still laughing.
Exactly. No, there's one thing to be negative because there's one thing you can always be negative about, and that is about that school down south.
Oh yeah.
So there was a guy there. And he comes in wearing his Southern attire. He's dating actually, he thinks he's married to, but she tells us that they're just dating, so that's besides the point. Probably getting a little bit more into it than we need to, but anyhow, he shows up in his Georgia Southern attire, and there's some boos in the crowd, when he walks in the door. But it's all...
I'm pretty proud I started that boo.
You did start that boo.
I started that
it's
boo.
It's lighthearted fun. We know how to have fun.
And to set the stage a little bit, we were cheering on everybody that was wearing Georgia State as they came out the door.
Yeah,
so it sort of fit the theme. He didn't know that, but
But he was a little buzzed up. He was licking his wounds after their Minnesota loss.
Right.
That's such a horrible laugh. But yes, so he's pretty drunkened up, like Georgia Southern fans.
He was wasted.
Yeah, he was.
He was already wasted.
But he kept on wanting to talk smack. He was like that typical Georgia Southern fan that just wanted to talk smack the entire time, but it was all empty. Like hey, we've been playing football. We have 6 minor league championships. Blah 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 blah. And then I forget
6 Flags and a
yeah,
roller coaster.
Exactly. So I think it was you that said this. It may have been me. I forget who it was because, like you said, we were all drinking and everything. He was talking about how bad we were, and then we brought up that you're right. We are that bad, and we own the record 3-2 versus you.
Yep.
And honestly, that may have been the most sober thing he'd heard all day. He kind of took a second back. He came over. He shook hands. He was pleasant.
He shook hands a lot.
He
shook hands a lot.
Yeah, he wanted to share their scummy diseases.
Yeah, I felt like I needed
some
hand sanitizer. He was.
You didn't use any?
No, I don't just keep that.
I don't have any either. I'm a filthy human being. I probably belong at Southern.
I had enough to drink. I probably could have just spit on my hands.
Yeah. That's also a good point. Yeah. So anyhow, he made the night a little bit actually more entertaining because we could turn our distraction away from that massive loss we had on the screen and talk about how horrible he was as a human being and Georgia Southern was as a university.
Well, so I walked over after we booed him. He seemed like he got a little agitated at it, but turns out he was just really drunk. I had no idea. And I went and I tried to, say, hey, man, it's just in good fun. And he was just like, oh, I finally just thought there were some Georgia State fans manning up, And I'm like, what is that, And then it just ended up making me leave. I was just like, I tried to come over here and be your friend.
But, yeah, you're a Southern fan, so what can I do? Yeah, and I actually have more Georgia Southern fan stories later on in the podcast.
Okay.
So that's what I'm learning in the industry. They call a tease. I don't know if anybody wants to hear.
We did end the conversation with him. I was talking to him for a little bit of the night. He wanted to talk about something other than sports, so we talked politics, which is always a winner. And by the end of the conversation, he said, you have a face that I just really want to punch. And I was like, you know what? You can just bleep off. And I got up and I left. And when I turned back around, they were gone. So
to
I was
be fair,
like, all right.
You really do have a punch worthy of a good fist. Now.
That's all right. I already said you have a face for radio.
Okay,
So
that's true. You did.
I said it in a very public place too, on Twitter.
Yeah. So both of our fans on Twitter listened to that, saw that. Yes. So that leads us into next week. I think we can go ahead and put Western Michigan behind us. We move onward and upward. We head down to San Marcos, Texas, to face off against the Texas State Armadillos. Bobcats. I watched Necessary Roughness a lot as a child. Did you ever see that movie?
Nope.
You have any idea what I'm talking about?
Nope.
There was a great movie, and by great movie, I mean an 80s movie that came out. I think it was 80s. It's got to be 80s. Scott Bakula.
All right.
Yeah, he was the quarterback of the Texas State Armadillos.
I always forget how much older you are than me.
Yeah, well, it's not that much.
I was born in 85.
Yeah, it's less than a decade.
I was less than 10.
85, 77 to 85. Yeah.
Oh, no, I mean the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't watching
Anyhow, so this movie
people.
actually has one of my favorite lines in a sports movie I've ever heard before. Anyhow, the idea of the movie was that there was a football program. And I think they got shut down for cheating or something like that, with it, whatever the problem was. And so they're trying to rebuild their program. They don't have the scholarships.
They called themselves Texas State?
They are called. This is before Texas State was called, before our Texas State was called Texas State. They were like the Texas College of Southern Texas.
Right, whatever they were
called before. Yep. And so they had I can't remember all the different actors and actresses in it, but Scott Bakula was the old man who had quit football back years and years ago, but didn't exhaust his eligibility, so they go to bring him in. And then they have no kicker whatsoever at all on the team, and Kathy Ireland is on the women's soccer team for the school.
See, no, I had this poster.
Okay, there
My
you go.
My brother had the poster,
there
I think.
You go.
Yeah.
And so they bring her in to be the kicker.
I know who Scott Bakula is now.
It's Quantum Leap.
Yeah, I got. That's all you had to say.
He's on the Enterprise.
Come on, man.
But yeah,
sorry.
So we'll get off this really, really quickly. I didn't mean to talk about this, but so they're Armadillos, and they have to play Ironman football. They're playing both sides of the ball. The offense and defense are playing the same. Anyhow, they get Kathy Ireland, and she's the kicker. She goes for her first field goal or extra point, whatever it was. She kicks the ball. The kick is good. Whatever the opposing defensive lineman goes up and knocks her over, tackles the heck out of her, and says, welcome to football. Welcome to football. And she gets up and she kicks him square in the nuts and says, welcome to footballs, or welcome to balls, foot, or something like that, whatever it is. Yeah, I'll take another one, thank you. And that movie cracked me up. I saw it in the theaters.
What was the point of that again?
They were called the Armadillos.
Oh, okay. So you called them the Armadillos.
And this is called the Bobcats, Texas State Bobcats. They are worse than us. They're 0-3.
0-3. Who they played, do you know?
Yes, I do have that in my notes.
Nice.
They opened up with a beatdown from Texas A&M. Any guess on the score of that game?
55-10.
41-7.
Oh.
41-7.
Oh, nice.
I think we may have discussed this in the.
That's a historic score.
I think we may have talked about this in the second episode about how historic 41-7 is to all of us. Yes. So they lost to Texas A&M over there, 41-7. They played the Wyoming Cowboys at home, a 23-14 loss.
But didn't Wyoming do an upset of an SEC team as well?
I do not have that in my notes.
They did. I don't remember which one, but they were the same week. They were also invited to the SEC by some anonymous writer.
Oh, excellent. So that's right, because we were both going to go to the SEC.
It was them, UNLV, and some other team that did the upset.
Well, good for the Cowboys.
Yep.
Then on Saturday they lost again, 47-17.
Goodness.
So they've Southern Mississippi Mustangs.
Okay.
SMU.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, Southern. Wait.
Methodist? Southern Methodist.
Southern Methodist.
I wrote SMU.
They're in Texas.
I wrote SMU.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the Mustangs. They lost 47-17 to the Mustangs. So they're 0-3. They're ranked last place. I think that they're only undefeated team in the Sun Belt. So this is supposed to be a win, right?
It's supposed to be a win.
I think we're actually not favored in this game.
No, we are 3-point underdogs to open.
Well, you get the 3 points for home field, so basically they expect this game to end in a tie.
That's right.
It's just on a neutral field.
That's right.
If we played in Memphis, this would be a tie game.
I like to think that we're a little bit better than Texas State.
I think it depends on how good Dan's playing.
That's true.
How well he's feeling.
That's true. But I mean, so I know I haven't gotten a chance to pay attention to Quad play, but does he seem like he's a good replacement?
I have no idea.
I know. I have
no idea.
I've been a little inebriated every time I've seen him play. So
I've got no idea what we can expect. One thing that I am hopeful for is that they're overlooking us because they've got a big game next week.
What's their big game?
Nichols Colonels. I think it's an FCS school.
Oh, is that the big?
I think they feel like we're their warm-up game for the Nichols Colonels, and so this is our chance to shock the world a second time in one season and upset Texas State. Can you get that? That T? No, I can't do it that way.
I don't think this is how 18 to 22-year-olds' brains works, but they might think they're going to go 0-12 if they don't beat Nichols State.
Okay.
And so if they don't get that 1-11, then it'll be a failure. So they might be looking past us. Yeah. But again, I don't think 18 to 22-year-olds think this way.
Have you ever been down to San Marcos before?
I haven't, but I want to. Everybody says it's amazing.
Yeah, there's a group of guys, or I say guys, I mean just fans, group of Panther fans that have gone down for the basketball doubleheader because you get Texas State and UT Arlington.
Yeah.
They're not too far apart. I think they've gone down maybe the past 2 years that we've played down there in basketball, and I think maybe gone down there.
You went?
No, I didn't go. No, it's just some of the other fans and whatnot. And I know that there's going to be some fans going down this week as well. Bring us back a W again, please. We'd like to get back in that column again. But I think it'd be kind of cool. It looks like it'd be a fun place to be. It's close to Austin, I think. I could be lying about that.
No, I think it's like 30, 45 minutes away. Okay. So it's definitely in the metro.
Yeah, I actually met a friend because of Texas State. We don't see each other very often, but this was back when we were playing the Dome down there when they moved us out of the Orange Lot. And we were, I think maybe the first year we were tailgating there. Was that the Blue Lot? What it was called?
First year?
No, after we got kicked out of Orange when they were building Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, Blue Lot, I think.
Yeah, Blue Lot in that corner right there.
Yep.
This guy walking by wearing his Texas State stuff like by himself. And, of course, we kind of, yelled him a little bit. And he came over, and his name was Randy. I actually wanted to get Randy on the pod today to kind of get a opposing team's perspective on the game. He wasn't able to make it, unfortunately. Or, actually, he didn't reply to my text is what really happened.
Boo.
But he was scared. He was intimidated.
That's right.
But it's one of the things I kind of want to talk about a little bit. Not really talk about, but I was like, he's a cool dude. And I think that cool fan bases make the conference better.
True.
I think the one of the best things that a school can have is fans that are friendly to other fans. Because I didn't know crap about Texas State other than being the Armadillos and having Kathy Ireland as their kicker before Randy.
That's right.
And I still don't know a lot about them. I know they're the Bobcats now. But I kind of root for Texas State. I mean, I don't want them to win on Saturday, but I kind of root for them. I want to see them do well as a program in general.
I honestly don't
but
care.
It's because I like Randy, and I like to think that there are other fans out there that meet us, meet other Georgia State fans, and they kind of like have a little special place in their heart for Georgia State to hopefully do better because we're decent fans to be around. We're not those guys down south.
Yeah, exactly. 2-10 of them are okay.
Right. Exactly.
You said you want to be positive on the podcast, right?
Exactly. So, getting a little bit off topic.
Sorry.
No, that was all on me. So, what do you think is going to be the outcome of Saturday's game against Texas State?
Are you asking me for a prediction?
Yeah, that's what it says in my notes.
Well, I have a standing 41-7 prediction.
Only until we got our first win. We're 2 wins in, man. Come on.
I'm 41-7.
Until we get 41-7, and then you'll go at a different score.
No, because we did it multiple times.
Okay.
Well, that's why it's historic.
Yeah, but it's
so we got to keep doing it.
Okay, so I compiled a bunch of numbers.
Oh boy!
Put it to a little black box.
Come on, man! You promised no X's and O's, no expert anything.
It was an anthracite box, actually.
Oh man! Oh
it's
God!
It's gonna give me the prediction.
So
of this
we're losing
game.
then. We're losing if you put it through the anthracite
Depending
box.
on which way you look at it.
Oh God! Oh God!
We are either gonna lose 32-43.
Okay. All right.
Or we're winning 37-13.
Wait, what?
I took all the points we scored in our 3 games and averaged them. I took all the points we lost by in a game and I averaged them, and that came out to us losing 32-43. But it's because of Western Michigan blowing us out. And then I did the same thing for Texas State, and that's how we got 37-13. So I'm gonna go and say let's do.
Just split them both down the middle.
I think we'll score 30s. They'll score 20s. That's what I'm saying. That's my prediction.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know what though? We haven't held a team to fewer than 30 points yet. So.
Yeah, none are as bad as Texas State. I'm sorry.
It's too soon. It's too soon to say that.
It's hard to say it right now. They're going to put 60 on us now.
What if they run the ball up the middle of the field?
We have no defense for that.
We have no defense. like, what if they do that? Because then they might score 30 points.
Well, let's hope they don't listen to this podcast and know our weakness.
Yeah. Because this is ultra scientific.
Dude, it was average.
Prediction that you just...
It was averages.
All right.
I did go to school for statistics at Georgia State, so that's I can admit that's really not strong math to use right there. Not okay. Are we good? Are we good? We good on Texas State? Are we want to talk about this more? What do you
we're good.
Got any more? Okay.
I want to visit the river. That's what I want to do.
Let's do it.
That looks cool.
Yes, the river.
They've got a river that goes through the campus. I don't know which one it is.
A river runs through it.
But they've got these they've got these great steps that go down into it, and they've built it up, and the kids like go hang out and do like lazy river style
that sounds awesome.
tubing and shit.
That sounds awesome. That sounds
fantastic. Sorry, Apple.
Oh, you use wordy dirts?
Yeah, that's okay.
So I can bleep that out. Well, one thing to talk about though is so the game. We have another night game. It's another night game at 7 p.m. on Saturday. What do you think about having a night away game last week?
Well, I like the night away game because I get the whole day to myself, and so I can go do all kinds of other things for that, and then I'm not tailgating, so I like tailgating all day too. But
see, I'm the exact opposite.
You just want to knock it out. You want the 12
o'clock game? I want to knock it out. I want to spend my entire day doing something, and so I love night home games because that's an excuse to get down and tailgate early and all day long. But then the night game, so got up. Went to a kid's birthday party. Yeah. Came back, sat around.
That can be okay.
It was fun. I feel bad. The poor little, she's turning 3 years old. The poor girl got bit by or stung by a hornet.
Was it the first time ever? You saw history.
Oh, that she got stung by a hornet? Yeah, I guess.
She's going to hate birthdays forever, and you saw that. You saw birthdays ruined.
It was before Happy Birthday even got sang.
That's great.
Yeah. Great, yeah. I'm sure she thought so.
Life was lived.
Then I come back, and I put on the other games, and I watch a little bit. I'm just kind of literally, my entire time, I'm watching my watch. When can I leave? When can I leave to go watch the game? So, so that's going to be my Saturday this week as well.
Yeah, I think I watched, I sat around and watched the Georgia game for a little bit, but that was, they really just killed Arkansas State, 55-0.
Yeah. I mean, Texas or Western Michigan didn't even score that many points. Or sorry, Georgia didn't score as many points as Western Michigan scored.
That's true.
Yeah.
But the one thing Georgia did was the Blake Anderson, his wife died of cancer right before the season started, and he's the coach for Arkansas State, and the fans did a pink out, and I just sort of I think that it was a nice thing. It's a nice thought. But I wonder how that made the coach feel.
Well, we talked about this a little bit Saturday before the game, and I get where you're coming from. Georgia has a history of trying to be nice and accommodating and respectful to coaches and teams and fans, whatnot, players that have had bad things happen to them during games, before games, after games, whatever. So it was a good thought. I think I had no problem with it. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. And I'm pretty confident we're going to do something similar to it. And that's something we can maybe talk about next week. After well, in the bye week.
Yeah.
Leading up to it and everything like that. So, or maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, we'll see. I got no problem with that. But so we got another night game again on ESPN Plus. So come on, whatever cable provider. Halfway Crooks has to make that work. We are going to be back at Halfway Crooks again. I am interested in hearing any listeners that have strong opinions either way on the viewing parties at Halfway Crooks. Let me know if you like what's going on there, or if you do not like what's going on there, if you want to go somewhere else or whatnot. I think it's great, but I do understand they are just a brewery, so they don't have liquor or other options for other people that are not big into beer. So
they have no qualms with people bringing stuff in, it seems like, though. People brought in ice cream. I know somebody who brought in some Diet Cokes.
Yeah, that's not liquor and that's not wine.
I say Diet Cokes, but...
Okay. Yeah, we are not encouraging any of that whatsoever at all, but it's not like I haven't done it a zillion times myself. It
happened and no one was worried about it.
There you go. So, yeah, anyhow.
There was also...
Hit us up on Twitter at State of Atlanta if you have strong opinions either way on that. But, yeah, we'll be back at Halfway Crooks, getting there at 6:30. I have a Facebook invite out there. You can find that on facebook.com/State of Atlanta. Go to our events. And it's on there. It's partnered with Panther Talk as well, the message board and best news site, the pretty much the only news site you've got for Georgia State. Thanks to Ben Moore and Ryan Elliott for that. And I think we're going to go ahead.
There was one more thing.
What's that? What's the one more thing?
There was a generous donor that donated $150 worth of tab to everyone that was wearing blue at Halfway Crooks, which was not... I mean, I had like 3 beers off that tab.
Yeah, we had...
didn't know if we're allowed to say or...
I don't know if we're allowed to say or not, but yes, thank you big time to that donor that came out and did pay a big tab for a bunch of us to get us started and everything.
Needless to say, we have some good personnel, and I'm excited about Georgia State athletics.
Always and forever. All right. We'll close the door on the Texas State stuff. I'm sure something else will come up later on, but let's move on to our next little bit. I don't have a lot to say about this. I talk about it every week. We talk about it every week. The coaches show at Woods Chapel. There was a little problem last week. I was down there. Ryan was down there. So I just want to give people an idea, because I think a lot of people think that it did not happen. It did happen. There was, I believe, again, maybe it's just a Summerhill internet connection. I don't know. There was some technical difficulties that they were having there. The show did happen. It went late, but it was not with Coach Elliott. He was, from what I understand, at his daughter's first dance recital,
something like that,
yeah. Which I'm going to make a huge pass to.
It was a family thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. Family first, always and forever. So the O-line coach came out and they talked. I didn't get to hear much. I brought my daughter this week and didn't get a chance to listen to a lot of the show, but it was good. I recommend people come out. I do hope people come out this week.
Yeah.
I know after a loss, it's hard to get too excited about spending time and money and energy out doing things for a team, but you gonna be there?
Yeah, and the cool thing last week was the Woods Chapel actually did a special for us. So they had I think it was 6 wings and a beer for $10.
That's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up, is because they are trying to cater to the Georgia State fans. And they want us to come out for the show. So yeah, I think you're right. $10, 6 wings, and a beer. Wings are great. I actually got to-go food this time, and I got the wings. They're good.
I've not had the wings yet, but I'll probably do it.
They're good. They're good plump wings. Good plump wings. So
plump, eh? That's the word you decided to use.
Yes, I did use that. So come out and let's get the energy going there. We did learn a bit of information. This is why it's so cool to do these kind of things. You come out there and you make yourself available. The athletic staff and the coaches have made themselves available to a level beyond what any other FBS kind of program has. And I shouldn't say any, but most have at this point. And so we're talking. We're just hanging out and chit-chatting before the show got started during the technical difficulties. And I found out some cool information. This is public knowledge. I'm not breaking news or anything, but I don't think a lot of people know about it. I didn't know about it until it was told to me. I think it's how that works. You don't know something until someone tells you something.
It's always true. It's 100% always true.
Athletics has gone and done their own little mini store inside of the stadium. They've gone and they've got a lot of T-shirts and polos and stuff.
Not the bookstore.
Not the bookstore. Not the bookstore store. Bookstore store. Yeah. Not that. It's something that athletics is doing themselves. It's... You come in, you go to the right underneath the concourse, up the stairs. I think on the 200 level, I believe it was where it was. And it's a small store. And they've just got some decently priced polos and T-shirts that are all officially licensed. I think they're doing I think she said you get a polo for like $30 or something.
I think she said they were at cost.
Yeah. I think they said that the polos are at cost, and they're actually eating the price of the embroidery of the Panther Head logo on there. So yeah. I did not catch this the first game. I have no idea.
I had no idea. But I think she said they were, if you don't go up the stairs, if you
cut around the stairs.
If you cut around the stairs.
That sounds familiar as well. Yeah, so anyhow, check that out. I'll try to give a reminder in the episode before the homecoming game. But yeah, so Coach's Show, come on out. It's fun. It's good to show support and everything.
And it's Dave Cohen, regardless, and he's awesome to talk to about all things Georgia State. The man has been around for such a long time. He's talking about anything.
He's there early. He stays late to talk with fans. So yeah, it's a good time.
We'll have him on this podcast at some point. He's
agreed to come on. I want to try to find maybe a downtime in his schedule to not, because I know it's super busy.
Maybe the off season or something.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll have a whole episode about Kiss.
We may do that. I need to start listening to a lot more Kiss.
Well, don't listen. Just read the Wikipedia page.
There you go. Yeah. That's what I meant by listen to the Cliff Notes versions of Kiss. So that's the Coach's Show. All right. Let's talk about what else happened in the Sun Belt this week. I don't want to go too far in depth, but there was a couple of things that are of note. You made a big comment, or one of the biggest ones is Arkansas State. A conference foe, our next home game. They came to Georgia, went up to Athens, and I guess you could say they lost worse than us. Yeah. It was 55-0. We were 57-10. At least we scored.
I thought they looked really bad in the loss too. Like, it wasn't just that Georgia was so good. There were some plays that they should have made that they weren't making. That it wasn't Georgia's fault they didn't make it. It was like hands were there, football into hands, and then football out of hands type of thing.
Yeah. Yes. I'm very familiar with that, watching the Falcons.
Yeah.
Years past.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so that did not look good for them, but it's hard to judge a team. They're playing the number 3 team in the nation. The intimidation, the loud crowd... they just got their coach back.
That's true.
I don't know if we can judge anything about that game to be the team that we're going to see in a few weeks here. But that is definitely a game of note. So I wanted to talk about that, or just bring that up. Troy went into a shootout with Southern Miss.
Oh, interesting.
They lost 47-42.
Man, it's a high-scoring game.
Yeah, so that's and
that's a Furman score right there.
Right. Louisiana played Texas Southern, it's just FCS, 77 points.
Wait.
77-6.
Jesus.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and I've got no idea how good Texas Southern is an FCS school. I'm sure if there's any Southern fans out there, they know everything about every single FCS school ever, and they can let me know. Also tell me how...
Still, 77 points is offensive. Like, at some point, you take your foot off the gas, right?
Maybe they did.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
I guess.
So thank God we don't play Louisiana this year. I just called them Louisiana. I hate that. I hate that they're taking the University of Louisiana name. You're Lafayette.
I like Ooh La La.
Oh yeah, of course. Especially in basketball.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't play them this year unless we meet in the
I don't like them. I'm sorry I said that. I don't like them. I call them.
Exactly. Yeah. And then as I mentioned earlier, Southern lost in Minnesota 35-32. Apparently that was a close ending game. I didn't watch because
it stayed close the whole time, but who cares? They lost.
My TV doesn't get that garbage.
They lost.
Exactly.
That's the key.
All right. Is there anything else about any other teams that you want to talk about before we move on to power rankings?
Not really.
Power rankings.
All
right. So I was really, really excited to come in and talk about power rankings if we had won this past game, but it doesn't give me much of an argument to say anything about why we should be moved up or whatnot.
No, we should not have moved up.
Correct. I don't think we should move up. But did you look at the 24/7 power rankings?
I mean, wait, probably, yeah.
You looked at them?
Yeah.
Did you notice anything that looked a little fishy to you?
No, I only looked at us. I'm just
okay.
I don't care about a lot of the other teams, so I look at us.
So I'm so glad that I have you on this podcast because you have so much to give me back. I'm kidding. Southern got a first place.
What
vote.
Did you say?
Yeah, the team down south.
Yeah, you need to bleep that out.
They got a first place vote.
They got a first place vote. They lost.
They did not have a first place vote last week.
No, and then they lost.
But there's Minnesota, the powerhouse that is Minnesota.
It's a P5 team, apparently.
Right, yeah.
I didn't know. I would have had to have looked that up.
Georgia Southern got a first place vote after losing a game.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's messed up.
Yeah, so we dropped down to 7th.
That's fair. I'll take it. We should have been there for a little while, but God, man, my English is going out.
Those PBRs. So App State is first place with 5 first-place votes. Ooh la la.
Wait, who did they play? Do you know?
App State. No, I don't know.
You didn't have
no. I think they actually had a bye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
God, these weird early buys.
They're 2-0, so they had a bye. Yeah. Well, Troy had a bye in week 2.
Yeah, I would hate that.
Lafayette got a first place, but they're second place. Troy's third. So we come in. We're just above Coastal, South Alabama, and the Armadillos. I mean, the Bobcats. So and then my good buddies over there at Underdog Dynasty. Those guys.
That's probably that guy that came to the watch party.
Can't say they dropped us down to 8th. We dropped 2 spots.
There's only 10 teams, right?
Yeah, I don't like those guys. They're stupid. Yeah.
Well, they're Southern fans.
They did have Southern go down 1. They dropped down to 1. They're 4th place.
Oh, that's good.
Not really power rankings. And
Southern fans are harder on themselves.
Yeah,
they really are. They don't think they should lose any game.
I disagree with them.
I mean, I know. Me too. Adamantly.
And I get that these are power rankings, and so a narrow loss to Minnesota is better than a blowout loss to Western Michigan. Sure. I get it.
But it's not a first place vote.
But yeah, I mean, like we're down against teams that are 1-win teams. We're a 2-win team against an SEC squad. It's just stupid. Today it came out. I don't want to talk a lot about it because I didn't pay a lot of attention. But USA Today ranked all 130 teams. We're 86th. I think it's kind of right.
I mean, so I don't take any rankings outside like the top 15. I actually don't care about.
So we're in the top 3 quadrants.
For the record, if anyone doesn't know, there's 130 teams in the FBS right now.
Yeah.
So we're 86 of 130.
I think when we joined, we were 126.
Yeah, there were 125, and then we joined.
Yeah. And then UAB dropped and came back, and then you had Coastal, App, guys down south, not in that order, and it was another school, Liberty. Liberty's in there.
Yeah, don't get me started on them.
Okay, well then we'll move on to bowl predictions.
Great.
And the only reason why I bring this up is because Brett McMurphy releases updated bowl predictions, and he has us in the Dollar General Bowl, which I think is where he had us last week.
Which one's that?
It's the one.
No, that's Camellia, right?
I think it's Montgomery. And that's the one that has no defined date. It's just December 2019.
Yeah.
Versus Eastern Michigan, which I can't remember if that's who we had us against before. But the thing of note here is
we could beat them. We could, come back. We could.
So we could be the other side of the state.
That's fine. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But the fun thing of note is I'm not going to go into details. We've mentioned some schools too much tonight, but UGA and Georgia State were the only 2 schools that he had going to bowls from this state. So. And
as an old school, Georgia is my number 2 team. He has them number 3 going to the playoffs.
I think that everybody. I mean, is there literally anybody that does not have Georgia going to the playoffs?
I saw Georgia fall out of, I think, Kirk Herbstreit, but he's kind of a jerk to Georgia traditionally. So, okay. And he's a big Ohio State guy, so he puts them.
They play there.
I know, but he puts them. He's a homer, so
yeah.
What?
Did you hear that? Did you hear about the trademarking?
No.
They try to trademark
the.
Yeah, which I think is hysterical.
Well, so I mean, when you're watching an NFL game and they're announcing all the players, and every player. There's like the random "the" and you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
Where did you go to school? The Southern Methodist. You're like, what? No one says that.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on a little bit here. Fantasy football. I don't want to talk a lot about it.
Why not? I'm dominating.
No, you're not.
No, I am.
No, you're not.
I'm 2-0.
You are the second place team in the league.
Oh, come on. Just for points 4.
Yeah, do you know who the first place team is?
I have no idea, but I'm sure you're about to tell me.
The Thundercats are on the loose.
The key there is that you're in the other... Yeah, sorry for the tapping, guys. I know that's a thing I do. But I get all aggressive, especially when he's challenging me. The thing is, you haven't played me yet. And so that's where your problem is.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, you'd be second if you played me, but you're in another division.
Yeah, how did your first round draft pick score in points
this week? Whoa, you're going to talk smack about Albert? That's what you're going to do? That's what you're going to do right now? That's how you... Come on, man.
You didn't even play him.
Well, he was hurt. He was out. He was declared out. Why would I play
I thought
him?
you had faith in him.
No, he was out.
Yeah. The only thing else to note is
I dropped him in all my other leagues.
Did you really?
I didn't drop him in this league. I felt like I have to keep him, but I dropped him in both my other leagues. They're for money.
The only other thing to talk about fantasy football, because I know that not everyone is obviously in our league or whatnot, but I want to cover the fantasy football segment, if you will, is where I want to talk about the Georgia State players that are in the league and make fun of Ryan for being in second place to me. Will Lutz, obviously, he is the other player, and Georgia State player in the pros. And
how'd that Saints game go?
Well, that's a good game.
I know. That's why I knew you wanted to talk about it. So just a little bit. How many points did they get, and how many of them were Will's?
So the Saints got 9 points, but our scoring got Will Lutz 8 points in fantasy. I think it's funny. He was projected 6.01 points. I don't know how a kicker gets projected fractional points.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
was it 3 field goals? Is that what he got?
Three field goals. So he got 9 points.
So he got all their points.
And so this is exactly how a Georgia State player in the NFL playing for the Saints should be. You score all their points, and they lose the game.
And they lose.
So I have never been more proud of Will Lutz than I am today.
You hear that, Will?
Or
if you're listening, I mean, I know you are because everyone's listening to this, right?
Exactly. So yeah, that's fantasy. Ryan's second place to me in fantasy. I don't get to see if we play each other next week or not.
We don't. I don't. I play Panther Russ.
Ah, Russ. He's a good guy. I like Russ.
He's a good guy. But I look forward to beating him like I've beaten everybody else.
Both of them.
All 2 people. No, but the this week was Derek, and I was supposed to lose by like 40 points. Seriously.
So in another league, I have the New England defense.
They're number 1 right now.
43 points they scored me.
Yeah, they're killing it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Fantastic. All right, so let's cut it from football and move into some unexpected basketball news. The full basketball schedule came out on Friday, and there's a few things in there that I wanted to kind of go over and whatnot. We'll get way more into basketball later on in the season when it's actually...
basketball season.
But so one thing I wrote down here back originally when the schedule came out was that Coach Lanier didn't get the message about us not playing Mercer, but I guess we already had a home and home scheduled, so this is just the return trip or something.
Do we not play Mercer?
We play Mercer down there this year.
Oh, okay.
And we don't like them, right?
Oh, what?
You don't remember that with Coach Hunter? We played him in like that CBI, CTI, that pay for play.
We lost.
We lost, and the Coach Hunter got kicked out of the game. The cheerleader got kicked out of the game.
Oh, no, I don't remember
How long
that.
have you been a fan of Georgia State, Ryan?
No, I remember those things happening, but I don't remember it being against Mercer.
I wish yeah.
I remember because the cheerleader getting kicked out is hilarious.
You were the cheerleader getting kicked out.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, coaches get kicked out sometimes, right? I grew up in Atlanta. I know Bobby Cox, right? I mean, so coaches get kicked out.
You know Bobby Cox?
I know of.
Can you get him on the podcast?
Yeah, next week.
There you go.
I'm on it.
Off season, man. Off season. Get him in for the World Series.
I don't know. I don't know if we could have him on because this is a G-rated. Remember,
That's
so like
true.
we can't be. We gotta be on Apple.
I've got to figure out how to bleep out things.
Yeah, and it'll just be a long bleep every time he talks.
So did you? Because I know you're a huge Georgia State fan, but I know you're not a big basketball fan. It's just a little bit more of a struggle for you to get into it. The number of games, the points, the number of points being scored, and I agree. But did you pay attention to the schedule? Did you take a look?
Nope.
Okay.
Best co-host ever.
Yeah, you really
just
are
like
great.
You said.
Actually, Ben told me that. He's like, he texted me after listening to the last episode. And he's like, Ryan's the best wingman. No notes, no preparation.
That's the brilliance of being a wingman.
There you go.
I was tempted this week to ask you if I should look at anything, and then I was like, but then I might have to look at something. And so I didn't ask you.
Yeah. If anybody else wants to come on the podcast, please hit me up at State of Atlanta. If you know my phone number or my email address, you hit those up as well. Let me know if you want to come on the show. We would love to have new guests. We play Charlotte 49ers at home in the sports arena. Yeah. I think that's a team that could be a good rival.
Well, I think we should play Charlotte in every sport every year. as long as we can.
Absolutely.
It's a sister city, I think.
Yeah,
right?
and UAB as well. I think those would be the schools we should be playing in every sport, every
large metro southeast schools.
So one thing that kind of is weird, and I don't have the schedule pulled up right in front of me, but I just have the notes that I made about it. But I think it's kind of weird. So like most of the time in basketball, and I don't know a lot about college basketball. I've really gotten more into it since Coach Hunter came in, and we were good because that's the kind of fan I am. But I'm staying a fan no matter what happens. Come on, Lanier, do us proud.
It's easy to say that now.
You do all of your out of conference games up front, and then you finish off with the entire full conference schedule. So we have out of conference, 2 conference games, and then we have a couple of more out of conference before we go back.
That is interesting.
It's just kind of weird.
The thing about Sunbelt basketball is it at the out of conference actually just doesn't matter that much.
It really doesn't.
We're not going to get into the dance.
It doesn't matter for the dance, but it matters for the fans. And I don't know. I mean, come on. If we actually had better teams coming in to play at the sports arena, I think we get more fans to come in there and buy season tickets and go watch games. But it's a sports arena. We all know what a sports arena is.
Sports arena, and we're a Sunbelt team.
It's not an attractive venue. It has. I think it's got some character. Honestly, it kind of exemplifies what Georgia State is as athletics university. But
it's really terrible.
But I think what Coach Hunter has done for us the past several years, and what we appear to continue wanting to be, we need to be in a better venue, which we talked about last week. We have coming for us in a couple of years. So yeah, it'd be great to actually have like legit programs coming in on the regular. We have a very hard time, from what I understand, getting programs that anybody's ever heard of to show up. I mean, like Point University. It's an exhibition game.
I mean, part of the problem too is we're just really good, so it's hard to get people that are good to come
and you don't want
play here.
you don't want to schedule a game, an away game that you're gonna lose, or you have a very good chance of losing. And I mean, it's a testament to what Hunter got us to,
right?
And so I mean, it's a good thing, but it kind of stinks for season ticket holders and whatnot. Let's see, what else did I have here? We have Middle Georgia State right before the conference schedule starts. I don't know if that means anything. Dartmouth, that's an Ivy League school, right? I don't know if that means. I don't know if they're good or not. One thing I saw when I was going through the schedule, when it lists, if you go to GeorgiaStateSports.com and you go to the schedules, it like lists where you can watch them, like radio, TV, whatever. It has Twitter listed for every one of them.
Twitter, I think it was
are all of our
last
games on
year
Twitter,
or the year before did some NFL games. So maybe that's just like the next iteration of.
Well,
like
I know
them
all of our
to...
conference games are on ESPN Plus. That's part of the deal that all the basketball would be. But they're gonna actually be on Twitter.
I mean, like I said, the NFL games were.
So. I can be reading tweets about whatever the hashtag of the week is and watching Georgia State at the same time.
I think so. I downloaded some kind of app on my Xbox and was able to watch those NFL games. It was weird.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's their next iteration. That's cool though. It's
I mean, more opportunities to watch.
Yeah.
Great. Apparently, season ticket renewals were due on Sunday. I didn't realize that. I should have realized that and announced that out so everybody knew about it. But you're adults. You should figure it out for yourself.
Nobody called me.
No one called you?
No one called me.
Did you have season tickets last year?
Not last year, but I have had multiple years of season tickets within the last 5 years.
No calls at all.
Nothing.
No emails.
Nope.
I guess you probably got emails about it, like just like the general marketing emails and stuff like that. Probably.
I don't know if I did.
Huh. Oh, maybe a fail right there, huh?
A little bit. Wait, we're not supposed to do this though.
We can talk about negative as long as it's overarching positive.
All right.
Yeah.
I would like to get a phone call about that. I mean, I probably would have said no, but like, it just feels like...
You said you may buy a little 10-game, little flex pack. Something like that.
I could be talked into it.
Yeah. You want to buy one? I can pull up my phone right now. Give me your credit card right now.
There's you doing your job, huh? Good job.
Yeah, and then also one thing I noticed, just as of note for us here, is that we do have 2 games on Tuesday nights, which is when we record these podcasts. So for those that continue listening to us, we will have a couple of them where Ryan won't be there, obviously, but I'll be coming in right after a basketball game to record these podcasts, which I think could be kind of interesting. A little something extra to talk about.
Yeah.
I'll have to pay more attention to what happens in the game.
Well, I might have listened to some of the game with Dave Cohen calling them. So.
Well, Dave Cohen is great to listen to.
Yeah, exactly.
You put that on the background. It's always,
I do that
it's always
often.
good. For sure.
So even if I don't go to the game, it's just nice to hear them call a game.
So so the schedule came out. Put it on my calendar. I'm looking forward to that season starting, but we got a ways off for that. So we'll talk more about basketball in the coming weeks. Another thing came out was a WatchStadium.com article came out ranking the Sunbelt coaching jobs off of several criteria, and I thought it was kind of cool where Georgia State came out. It's not really surprising, but we're so used to getting bad press that it's good when good press comes out. Louisiana got ranked Lafayette. Ooh la la. Got ranked first as far as the best coaching job in the Sun Belt Conference, and they're ranking these off of history and tradition, game atmosphere, selling to the pros, facilities. What else do they have here? I think was that all.
There was like 8 of them.
Media exposure, buy games, which I really didn't understand exactly what they were saying on that one. The recruiting base and whatnot. So we came in second place.
They basically took each of those and ranked every school in that, and then took the cross.
So we got first place in media exposure,
right?
Which I'm going to say that's all because of Coach Hunter.
Well, and Atlanta is a top 10 media market.
It is a media market.
So that might be what they were considering.
But, I mean, like, with the shots and Coach and RJ and whatnot, I'm pretty sure the media exposure has got to be, like, we've never gotten as much attention as we got until we got Coach Hunter.
True. It's true. And the AJC doesn't bother covering us.
Yeah, so buy games is one of them. And that says teams bought the fewest number of times. And so I'm guessing that's like money games and like football, like teams that pay. I didn't follow it. I guess we don't take money for basketball games. I don't know. And then recruiting base, talking about the local area.
Is this just basketball?
This is just basketball.
Oh, okay.
This is just basketball. So we got first place in media exposure, buy games, and recruiting base. And then there was a Sunbelt assistant who had a couple quotes about us. Positive, you can get anywhere quick in and out of Atlanta.
Yeah, Delta.
Right. And which I think
not
is,
a sponsor.
Which I think is which I think is a great selling feature of the university in all sports and all things Georgia State, especially when you're looking for those major programs to come here to visit us. You don't have to like fly somewhere and take a 3-hour bus ride.
Right.
I mean, you can fly here.
Take MARTA up.
Take a 5-minute Uber. Not a 5-minute Uber, but you're gonna have
all those athletes. No, you just take the MARTA.
Uber XL.
My bad.
No, we're close. We're close for everything.
We are so close.
Which it's got to be attractive to any team that wants to come and play us. And for recruiting, if you do get an out-of-state kid, their parents, their family, friends can get here from anywhere in the world on a direct flight. Yep. And then what the Sunbelt assistant also said was there's just the sell of City of Atlanta of itself. Yeah. I mean, Atlanta is a hot spot. There's a lot of culture, a lot of pop culture that's originated out of the city that I think a lot of athletes, a lot of young kids just want to be part of. Yep. So that's great.
Where did we do the what killed us in this?
Facilities.
Right, and we talked about that.
Which is great. Great. Facilities is the worst thing about us. Yeah. We're already remedying this. We're already about to have the best facility, arguably.
The newest.
We haven't seen.
We'll have the newest.
We haven't seen renderings yet, but I'm going to go ahead and say the newest is the best. Yeah. The best facilities in the conference. So next year, WatchStadium.com. I want to see this all over again.
Maybe 2 years.
And I want to be. Oh yeah, I guess 2 years.
maybe 2 years. It's a big building.
Yeah, it takes a couple years to get in there. But then, so this is also funny. So facilities was our dog, right? So there's a quote from a Sunbelt coach, an uncredited Sunbelt coach. It says, they play on the 5th floor of a class building. It's got the feel of a high school gym. Which Sunbelt coach do you think said that? I don't know. They didn't list it's anonymous, but who do you think it is?
Well, I mean, the thing is that's not a negative statement. It is purely fact. It is 100% true.
It's factually wrong.
What? Are we not on the 5th floor or on the 6th floor?
Third floor.
Yeah, come on, man.
No, it's got to be Bob Marlin, right?
I don't know.
That's got to be Bob.
Is he still their coach?
I don't know.
They haven't fired that guy yet?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't pay that close attention. Somebody let me know if they got fired. No, we did great. It was first on media exposure, buy games, recruiting base. Second on budget and resources.
Yep.
History, tradition gave us fourth. And I'm like, really? Have you paid attention at all?
We went back. We were at the dance before.
But fourth in history, tradition, fourth in game atmosphere, fourth in selling it to the pros. So
because of RJ, I guess.
RJ has got to be
because no one else is in the pros. No, there was an Ooh La La guy that went, wasn't there?
Well, I mean, yeah, but we just got fourth. I mean, they got better than that.
I see what you're saying. Fourth.
Yeah. So also of note, that school we've talked about way too much tonight. They ranked 11th overall.
Wait. I thought there were 10 teams. Am I totally
off? 12. There's 10 in football, 11 in or 12 in basketball.
Okay.
Because you have
Arlington,
you got Arlington and the other Arkansas school.
Yeah.
Little Rock.
Yeah.
And so Southern got 11th place overall out of 12 schools, only second to Monroe, and they also were called a high school gym.
Oh, good. I still can't believe. I know this is like total history, but I still can't believe they beat us with Tukey.
Oh yeah. Tukey, yeah. Which was a recruit of ours, apparently.
Yeah, we tried really hard, and he declined us and went to Georgia Southern.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, he seemed like somebody that needed to go to Southern.
Bleep that out.
Yeah. So, actually, I missed this in my notes I wanted to add in earlier, but we're getting close to the end of the show here, so I wanted to go ahead and say this because I wanted to get another dig in on that school down south. I hate how much we talked about it this night, but when stuff happens, stuff happens. So, I went to the Falcons game on Sunday. I'm not going to say a big win, but a win is a win, and I'll take it every single time, especially against the Eagles.
Yep.
So, my wife and I are hanging out there after the game, and we're having a good old time. She's like, let's stick around. Let's hang out. So some other fans come over. So a young couple, a guy and a girl, come over, and we're talking to them. And I don't remember where the conversation was going and how it happened and whatnot. We start talking. It gets into college football. So I'm like, oh, yeah, well, who are you a fan of? Where'd you go to school? And he says, Georgia Southern.
And this was an Eagles fan?
No, it was a Georgia State fan. Or Falcons fan. Falcons fan, yeah.
All right.
So, do you ever have that feeling that you're just better than someone? Like, you see a Southern sticker on someone's car or license plate, and you're like, that guy may be driving a brand new Mercedes or Tesla. He's doing well with his life. But in general, I'm just a better person than him.
I wish I could say never, but literally all the time.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm tapping again. Sorry, guys.
Exactly. It's something that happens to me all the time. I look at someone wearing a Southern shirt or having a Southern badge or license plate or whatever, and I just assume I'm a better person.
Even if it's an Eagles shirt and it sort of looks like a Southern shirt, and you're like,
Well, Eagles aren't much better anyways. But so then you go a few weeks and you don't have any interactions directly, one-on-one. You don't have any interactions with a Southern fan. And you're like, you know what? Maybe I'm just being a little harsh.
I work with a Southern fan.
Little irrational, a little biased. Some of my best friends are Southern fans. And then you start bouncing back. You're like, no. I'm just being a little too harsh. And then on a Sunday night in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, you meet a Georgia Southern fan and you have an interaction with him. This guy tells me when I tell him I'm a Georgia State fan, he leans over to me and he's like, you know you got 3 gay guys on your team.
Seriously?
I'm like, so?
And then it justifies everything. But how does he know there's 3? I don't even.
And he's like, you know they have sex with each other, don't you? I'm like,
I hope so.
So? And so I backed off, and like you just said, I backed off, and I was like, every single thought I've had about Georgia Southern, about how much better I am than every one of their fans, justified. Because of that one guy.
But think about that. He had to go through our whole roster one by one and figure out who is
Well, he was probably at Blake's one night and just ran into him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how does he know that? Like, we don't know that.
But how atypical, stereotypical, just like Georgia, like everything.
3 is a very specific number.
Everything we make fun of them about, he just exemplified in one single statement.
I was with him yesterday. You know?
Exactly.
You know 3 of them.
It's like, I should have been like, there's actually 4. He's bi though, so you know we don't count him all the way. Yeah. No. So I just
thank God Atlanta is a hot recruiting base for people like
I
that.
wish it just blew my mind. I'm like, this guy literally has exemplified everything that we can't stand about these guys, the narrow-mindedness and everything. And I don't want to get into all the social politics, but any chance I can get to talk crap about those guys, I will do it. Do you have anything else on this?
They also like to talk about all the thugs in Atlanta, right?
Well, there are a lot of thugs in Atlanta.
But
we're an urban city. It happens. Like, no one ever, like, robs your sheep in Statesboro.
I know, but when you hear a Georgia Southern fan say it, you're like, oh, I know what you're trying to say.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I immediately know what you're trying to say. When you say it, you're like, these are the people...
Crime happens.
Yeah, right.
It happens in big cities.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And when they say it, you're like, oh, I get it.
Let's end this on a positive note. I think I have just a couple of things left. One, I want to talk about. Oh, no, not one. We're really pretty much done here. The other sports. So was not necessarily a good weekend for the other sports as well. Women's soccer, I think they went goose egg on their games. The men's golf finished like 15th out of 15, 14th out of 15, 13th out of 15. Not good. Women's slightly better. They tied in their tournaments and whatnot. But there is one. We had volleyball didn't do so good. Women's soccer didn't do so good. There is one great, amazing, and fantastic. Great and fantastic. There was a Chattanooga Twilight meet up at UTC on Saturday, and Georgia State's Lot Merberg got first place.
Nice.
Out of 88 runners up there in the 4,000 meter. So congrats to Lot. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Yeah, it's awesome. So we have a couple of men's games, or one men's game. Actually, right now there's a men's game right now. There's going on at playing at Gardner Webb. Actually, it's probably over by now. Then we play again at Winthrop on Saturday. Women's soccer is playing Little Rock. Volleyball got Northwestern State and Brown. Big fan of that myself. No reason. Last name. So looking at where we stand right now outside of football, men's soccer is 3-0-1. Women's soccer is 3-4-1.
Not nice.
Yeah, and apparently I did not update.
Why did they play so many more games? That's crazy. They must be playing like all the time.
Yeah, I guess women started early for some reason. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because the women's tournament starts before the men's tournament starts.
Okay,
probably so.
There was another thing that it's vaguely related to the other sports, but also the Falcons game. I was watching the Falcons game on TV, and it was the 8:30 game, right? So it was there. Sunday night. I know. So it was a Sunday night game though. And during commercial break, they did one of the, they talk about Atlanta. They do like these weird little history things. And they did a flyover of the old Atlanta Fulton County Stadium and the imprint that's in the parking lot. And they were saying that, this is where they used to play, and this is where Hank Aaron hit his home run, and they showed the wall, and then they showed the imprint that was there. They did not talk about Georgia State, but I just couldn't help but think how excited I was that, in a year or two, or 3 or 5 or however long it takes for the money to come in, they may do the same thing, but be like, this is where Georgia State is playing baseball, and this is where Hank Aaron hit his home run. And
yeah, you're absolutely right. I think, it's everyone knows this acquisition of the old Turner Field Stadium and lots is revolutionary for Georgia State, not just Georgia State, but the city of Atlanta as a whole. I mean, it really fixes a big gap in the city, and it's great for all aspects of it, for the people that live around there, such as yourself, the people that have lived there for 30 or 40 years or more, and just the whole culture, the whole sports culture.
Promises are finally coming into the neighborhood in a positive way.
So it's good. All right, well, Ryan, is there anything else that you have for this week?
Nope.
Excellent. Well, thank you everyone for listening to another episode. We look forward to seeing how Georgia State does against Texas State Broncos this weekend. We hope you all come out to the Halfway Crooks viewing party.
Beer brewing party.
Beer brewing party. Yeah,
that sounds boring.
I'm sure they'll be brewing while we're there. Also, we do have one last segment, brand new.
Uh-oh.
We've made it, man.
Uh-oh.
We've made it. Corrections and retractions.
Nice.
We got something wrong.
Wait. You say we.
Hey, this is a team effort, man. It's a team effort.
I feel like
there's no I. There's no I in team.
See, this is the other benefit of not showing up with any notes or anything. I don't have to take any flack for getting things wrong. You researched.
I didn't research. This was an off the cuff statement made, I believe, in episode 3. It had to be because we were informed that we were wrong. The Australian meat pies still exist at Georgia State Stadium. They have just moved down to a different level. I was told by Susan that she had dinner with one of the meat pies. She took the meat pie to dinner.
She had chicken fingers, but she had a meat pie in attendance.
They had a great conversation. She's introducing the meat pie to her parents this weekend. Yes, the Australian meat pies are still in the stadium. Right above section 216, I believe she said, according to my notes that I have here. So they're just down. They're out of the club area. They're down on with the commoners.
I still recommend going there after the fourth quarter and getting some free meat pies.
She also said that she got one on her way out of the stadium as well. So that's it for us this week. Thanks to everybody for listening, and we will talk to you next week. That's it for us this week. Thank you for listening. Please follow us on Twitter at State of Atlanta or on Facebook at facebook.com/State of Atlanta. And if you enjoy what you're listening to, please rate and review us on your podcast app. Thank you very much, and go Panthers.